I too wanted to begin by thanking the public. To put that thank you into perspective, and I think it's important to say this, repeatedly and very unfortunately, the head of the CITERA project has frequently referred to the general public as the opposition. And I think that is unfortunate because the general public are not the opposition. The general public are the people. And whether we are elected or appointed or otherwise, as public servants, our purpose, our sole purpose, is to represent the people. That is the democracy. That is the fundamental principle by which we govern ourselves. And with that in mind, I would say that during the public hearing process, we got a phenomenal amount of information. It was not of the nature of NIMBYism. It was anything but that. It was all about people who had put a lot of time, a lot of research, who have been studying this issue for years now. They came to us prepared with facts, with critiques that the CRD weren't even prepared to respond to because they themselves haven't even considered, and that itself is a tragedy. So I think that is a good segue into the report that Mr. Brown has presented for our consideration tonight. And I read the report a few times and went back and looked at a lot of the input that we received in writing as well from the public. I went back and I looked at everything the CRD has provided us. And what came back to me was one section that Mr. Brown has included in his report, but it's so fundamental to the question to us tonight. And that is the OCP, the Official Community Plan Regional Statement that reads, and I'll quote it, the township's outstanding natural amenity, its saltwater shoreline, is of regional significance and will be carefully protected through the municipality's land use and regulatory measures while allowing for access and enjoyment by the region's residents and visitors. So this is the context by which we must decide this question tonight, by which we make our decision. And it's a context in which we must decide whether or not we are going to allow an oversized, and that is key, oversized by the CRD's own admission. This is oversized. An oversized sewage plant to permanently define the aesthetics and the purpose of our naturally beautiful shoreline. And by extension, permanently define the scenic gateway into the harbor of British Columbia's capital city, which is also just happens to be the primary marine gateway into Canada. One with immense national heritage value in terms of geography, socioeconomics, environment, and of course, tourism. So as I say, that's the context by which I approach my decision tonight. And when I go back and I look at the issue of the setbacks, and specifically on heights and setbacks that have been requested by the CRD to allow for this bylaw to go forward, my answer is clear, because I go back to that regional context statement that Mr. Brown so ably reminded us of. For me, the answer is no. One more time, just so it's very clear, because the CRD has trouble accepting answers from this community. The answer is no. The answer is no to the CRD. And it's no, and let's count the ways in which it's no. The answer is no to the height and setbacks that will violate our own OCP. The answer is no to forever destroying the scenic natural beauty of our region's shoreline and our harbor gateway that our own OCP serves to protect. The answer is no to ignoring the hundreds upon hundreds of citizens from across this region who spoke at hockey arena-filled public hearings, 6 in total if you include the ones from last July as well. The answer is no to having Esquimalt continue to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that the CRD have cast upon this community continually. The answer is no to allowing this ongoing tragedy from becoming a permanent travesty. The answer is no to allowing the CRD to ignore every independent expert in science, engineering, and environmentalism who have all said that this sewage plant cannot fit. Remember that, oversized sewage plant cannot fit at this site. In fact, even their own proponents who are currently bidding on this contract have told them, they've even admitted that to us. That's what started this whole new go-around, is that the proponents have said they cannot fit a sewage plant at this site. And you know what? The CRD talks about lost time or wasting time that costs taxpayers money. We can go back 5 years to 2009 when the CRD's own reports, the peer review and the Stantec report told them, do not build at McLoughlin Point. The risks are too high. That was 2009. A decision could have been made then and saved us all a lot of tax money, resources, and time. The answer is no in terms of allowing the CRD to mislead the public that Esquimalt is somehow being rewarded with $13 million when much of that $13 million is actually for required mitigation, not so much in terms of amenities. And a lot of it is also for a hypothetical, and that's key, hypothetical heat loop that we never asked for, nor do we, quite frankly, need. The answer is no to wasting more time and tax dollars going in the wrong direction. The answer is no to arbitration. The answer is no to the province overruling the autonomous, legally correct decision-making of the Esquimalt Council through our legal authority as protected in law in the Community Charter and Local Government Act. But I would say that, Esquimalt, we know Esquimalt well. We are a community of optimists. We are a can-do community full of positive energy and getting things done the right way, the smart way. So it's not just about saying no tonight. More importantly, we need to also be able to say yes. By saying no to the CRD, we are saying yes to permanently protecting our sacred shoreline and scenic harbor gateway. And we're saying yes, we're going to respect and honor our own OCP. The answer is yes to listening to and respecting the residents and taxpayers from across this region. We are saying yes to a full independent review of the CRD sewage plan. We are saying yes to working with the provincial and federal governments for an extension that will result in a better plan, a plan that involves a distributed, decentralized model in which Colwood is already leading the way. The work is already being done. We are saying yes to allowing this to become a central issue, and this is key, folks, for all of you. We're saying yes to making this a central issue in the 2014 municipal elections across this region, and allow the voters to decide who will make the final decision on sewage treatment and what that decision will be. The answer is no to the CRD plan, but yes to the people across this region who have pleaded for a better plan, a more common sense approach to how we invest our tax dollars in the treatment of sewage waste. A plan that is more about creating lasting taxpayer waste problem rather than a sewage waste solution is not a plan that any municipal council could ever support and that no regional government should ever advocate. So yes, the answer is no to the CRD rezoning in terms of their height and setbacks, but the answer is yes to working together, to borrow a phrase from the CRD's own slogan, as a region with the provincial and federal governments to scrap the current plan in favor of a smarter sewage treatment solution, one that we can all support. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor.